You know, our season was so special because we did have to win it on the last day, and you know, to accomplish that, you know, I think created a thought that that season all by itself was just the best thing that ever happened to us. And then 3 days later, 2 days later, we're walking back into the clubhouse and we're playing in the World Series. And I don't think it really meant that much to us. It was almost anticlimactic.
Interesting.
We were underdogs. The Cardinals had this gigantic machine that was mowing people down, and we just came in after having had that, you know, wonderful victory on the last day of the season. To get in, we get beat the first game by Bob Gibson, 2-1. Jose Santiago pitches a great game.
Great game.
Gets the only run of the game via a home run.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and so, you know, we come into game 2. Dick Hughes, I think, is pitching, and I'm able to pitch on my normal amount of rest, which was 3 days, because I pitched every 4 days in those days. Gibson was on a 5-day rotation, I think. And I had been in a pretty good groove because I'd had the great game against Minnesota to finish the season off. And the excitement alone of walking into Fenway with World Series and banners and everything was enough to heighten your senses to the specialness of the moment. And fortunately, I had great stuff that day. And I also had great concentration, so there was and it doesn't happen that often that Larry Bird would talk about, you know, when he would score an unimaginable number of points, being in a zone.
Right.
And it turns out that there was a zone around me that particular day where not only did I have great stuff, but I had great concentration. And I took a no-hitter going into the 8th inning.
It was. Go ahead. I mean,
yeah, Javier. You know, I hang a slider to him, and he could have very easily hit it out, but he hits it off the wall. He also could have popped it up, but it wasn't that big a deal. The score was still close enough, so you still had to pay attention to finish the ball game.
Right, you still had to win the game.
Yeah.
That was a lesson that Dick Williams told you. No more bouncing curveballs.
That's part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was an amazing moment in World Series history, and but as you went along, go ahead. You can talk about how much rest you had, how much rest you didn't have, and what you had to go through to get out of that World Series. Well,
we come back. 4 days later, we're out in St. Louis. They've now beaten us 2 games out there. We're coming up to Game 5. We're down 3-1. I'm pitching against Steve Carlton. It's a day game, and that was great about the World Series in those days, that most of the games are all day games. And so it was great for the folks in New England and great for the